hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have joined me this evening to play some Dungeons and some Dragons, which we're going to get to in a bit. But first, oh man, for a moment I felt terrible because two of you have comfort things to hold on to already. We've hardly started. Three of you have got something to comfort yourselves, and one of you is on fire. I feel like my job here as a dungeon master is done. Oh, thank you to everybody for joining us this evening. We are using Roll20 as our virtual tabletop of choice this evening. And you can find us and all of ours over at the Discord. We're going to talk about some other specific stuff first, but if you miss any of it or just want to be part of this wonderful group, there it is in chat. Oh yes, character art, quick. Oh hey, perfect. Mertz,
hey, Mertz,
welcome to the club. Hey, thank you for joining us. You're here just in time for the last of the technical thank yous, and then we will get started. Toot sweet. So yes, the character art is done using Hero Forge, a spectacular source for art for characters. I know people, including me, who sometimes start a character based on something they built in Hero Forge, now rather than the other way around. Everybody's here now. Oh man. So that's the credit where credit is due. Now the people, because the people are here. Let's start with Soul Dasher, because you got a thing coming. You got a thing. It's over in the Discord, but tell us about your thing.
Okay, well, I actually did get a chance to stream last night, which was fine. You can find me over there on Dirty 20 Game. Not just Dirty 20 Gaming. Excuse me. I like to play here. But also on my own, which is Solar Dasher on Twitch. Speaking of which, on Wednesday, I am going to be doing a charity event for, why do I always do this?
Gamers something?
What is it? It's Gamers Outreach, I believe.
There it is. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, there we go. Gamers Outreach. Yeah. It'll be on Wednesday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to about midnight Eastern. We'll be playing Among Us with a couple of friends of ours, my sister as well. So it's looking like something that's going to be lots of fun. We're raising money for Gamers Outreach. And it starts tomorrow and ends next Sunday, so I'm going to be promoting it here again next Sunday as well.
You're damn right.
I will also have the live link up for the promotion, for the donations, whichever you guys like.
Yep.
However, I'm gonna do my best just to have fun and try and raise money for these guys, because it's a very nice thing that they're doing.
It certainly is. Kill them all, I think. Is that the game? I don't know. I've never played Among Us. Oh, I said it. Excuse me. I'm being punished. Oh, pardon me. Nearly killed. Next, we have Bison Stonefist with us this evening, who is apparently on fire. That is a spectacular effect.
You could also say I'm a little lit.
You are.
So yeah, I'm Bison.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Find me here. That's where I spend most of my time. I also play games on my own Twitch, which I'm currently throwing up into chat. And
please don't throw up in chat. Oh, there you go.
Currently, I've been playing Pillars of Eternity 2, and I created the crew from this game.
Yes.
And put it in that. And
yes.
Idicus is just as dangerous there as he is here. So that's me Monday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Criticus, sorry, my bad.
Criticus.
And yeah, so that's what I do on Mondays, and other than that, you generally just find me here.
Perfect. Which segues us wonderfully over to the multi-talented Sarah, who brings us Iticus. How go the productions? What can't you tell us this week? Every week there's something you can't tell us.
I got to film on Thursday.
Oh yes, and you can't tell us anything about it, right?
I can tell you that we went to Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
And spent way too much time. So yes.
I'm not sure that's possible. Pop the links up there in chat.
Yep,
There we go. Bam.
For Tangor Productions and Tangor Productions on Location, the Halloween Horror Nights video will be on.
You put the other one up.
They're both. Oh no, YouTube's not letting us change that. Change our URL.
Okay, that sucks. Okay, never mind. In that case, I'll stop
me.
drawing attention to it. I didn't know. Sorry.
Okay.
But yes, Tangor Productions and Tangor on Location. Is that the two?
Tangor Productions on Location.
Tangor Productions on Location. Thank you very much for that. Which brings us to the Scarred Adventurer, in this game, metamorphosizing creature.
Yes. Now, normally you will find me here. That's usually where you find me.
Yes.
Saturdays, unfortunately, I haven't been able to for the last 2 Saturdays due to illness. But we run a game of masks, a new generation called Heroes 101. For the next 2 weeks, it is not going to be that, though. It's going to be something else, which is equally awesome. Definitely check out those. Aside from that, I do also run a small website called thescarredadventure.com. It's not currently up and running. It will hopefully be in a couple weeks. I'm waiting for the domain to transfer.
Excellent.
So yeah, and then I have to get everyone else onto the thing and start putting their stuff back on because
It's just,
oh my god, I deleted everything.
It's just good to hear that it's coming back up. So that is superb.
Yes.
With that, you mentioned them, so I'm going to mention the next 2 Saturdays. The 23rd, we have our very own Thunderscape 7 doing a first-time streamed GM in a game called You Wake Up in a Strange Place. I think You Awaken in a Strange Place, something of that sort. I should have made notes. And then, the punchline for that game, it's right on the thing, there's no choice. It says, #1 rule, nobody is allowed to be prepared, not even the GM. So we are going to create characters and make you awaken in a strange place. Thank you. I want to make sure I get it right. So yes, we'll be making characters, making the world, and playing an adventure all as a cooperative group in that one. And then 1 week later, a mere 1 day before All Hallows Eve, we have, just as she is distracted, Sarah running a game of 10 candles for us. That big smile tells me that you enjoyed killing us all last year, and you're looking forward to do so again.
I gave myself a challenge.
Yes.
Because the location I chose and the time period I chose is a party.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I'm gonna see how many times you guys can get me to laugh while I'm trying to be really, really serious.
Oh dear, and you gave me warning. Oh, okay, all right. I
That'll
got
be
2
fun.
weeks to think about that now. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh,
Who do
I
I want to bring
finished.
to the party? Oh, because we create our characters in that one too, right? So
I
I finished your
get
guess.
I get to just come out with my terrible jokes. 2 men walk into a bar.
I wrote the countdown,
oh yes.
and I was like, oh no, y'all are gonna choose like
Well, you know.
go for my weaknesses. I already know it.
Ouch.
Or we'll make bad decisions and it will be the shortest game of 10 candles ever played. So there's only 1 candle, you guys. I'm out of here. Yeah. But speaking of earth-shattering decisions, let us segue into tonight's game before everybody leaves. I've got us on the big map right now, and you guys are that big green dot at the top floating just outside the eye of the Allfather, where a number of adventures have occurred. Some wreckage was left behind, and you have to go back there once you find these artifacts that you're looking for. Beowulf has had, to say the least, a very shitty day. So have the rest of you, frankly. You were attacked by manticores and were saved only by the power supply of your ship in the form of 2 slave elementals, which must be let out every 30 days to feed.
Prisoners with jobs.
And at the end, after they were driven away and eaten, the ship was just kind of floating there. And then Creature had fixed the balloon, and Corfell went up and used mending, left the stitching there, and used mending to fix it underneath. Came back down, sort of tended a little bit to different parts of the ship, walked back up to their post. And there's the speaking tube in front of them, and they get up there and kind of look around in a sort of regal fashion. And kind of look into the tube and go. And almost like a cartoon, a tiny arm that gets bigger the further out it comes, a huge red dragon's claw just comes out. You hear the crushing of bones as Corfell's body is down this little tiny tube about this big.
No, last time he came back with a ship. Let's see what it comes back with this time. We're taking all bets!
His staff goes with him, but the one Idicus that you gave them drops off of his back as he goes into the hole. So I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was.
Staff that,
oh, that was the green one from the person in the spider cave. Yep, gotcha. I don't think any of you bothered to check and see what it was.
I mean, Creature would just use it as a stick to hit people.
Yeah. So anyway, that lays on the back of the boat. The only person who can control the boat by voice is gone.
Oh no.
The boat is now flowing freely. This split second, they disappear down the tube. Both the fire and the fan behind you, driven by the air elemental, start to slow down. So you start to drop because you're getting less heat, and you start to go slower because you're getting less thrust. You do, because of a certain adventurous Warforged, know that there are a backup set of controls downstairs. But the design is really, really poor. Because if you're at the controls, you can't see outside. So, with that group of confused faces, what would any of you like to do as you go down the deep snow-filled valley? If you crash here, you're finished.
Because you've said now that Idicus has told us about where things are.
I don't remember. Idicus, did you get busted, or no? You just ran back upstairs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fell's the one that figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, the instructions are written on the wall, but we had determined that Idicus can't read. So you guys saw the two levers that say direction and altitude. All Idicus saw was two levers. They both said fun. So yes, good point, Dak. The captain's gone. Boat's free falling. Go.
Victor
head out from his room because he's sitting. His room is right there.
Yep,
And
that's right. You were under. Yeah, you were in the underboat.
And,
so you can feel like that elevator feeling where your belly's kind of coming up. Yeah.
So he's gonna look at look one way, look at the other at the door, and
portholes. Yeah.
The two, whatevers.
Yep. There's two big slidey levers.
Have they moved? Because he saw them. They were both in like.
They're back to center now because Corfell countered what Idicus did. So remember, Idicus pulled the lever and then Corfell pulled it back with Idicus hanging off of it. And then Idicus just grabbed the other one and pulled that, and then got spun back to the middle again, and then ran upstairs and said, "I didn't do it," basically. But yeah, you've all been downstairs, so you've all seen the two levers.
Okay.
Except for Beowulf, you're absolutely right.
Beowulf.
You have never gone below.
I have not gone
right.
downstairs. I've just been hiding in that little cubbyhole right
Yes,
next
you
to
have.
where everybody else was standing up on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So, my thinking then, since I'm still in wolf form,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw where the fire elemental should be.
Yep.
He's gonna wander over to where that is.
Yep.
Look down and see if he can just spark at it a little bit to be able to, keep us afloat.
You
Doesn't
go
matter
over
if we
and
move,
look
we just
in.
need to stay floating.
You find like a tiny portal that you can see through, like a piece of very, very thick glass that keeps the heat in, but you can kind of see all distorted and twisted through it. And basically what you see is a fire elemental sitting like this, basically pouting, trying to hold in their heat. You bark at them. Give me an intimidation check.
Intimidation. Okay. Let's see here. Whoops. Wrong button. Let's see.
First roll of the night.
Creature has an idea, a terribly wonderful, interesting idea.
This works off of the
Please tell me it's a
charisma.
cunning plan. Just
That's
give it
gonna
to
be-
us as Beowulf, because you use your mental stats even in your other forms. 14.
14. Thank goodness, because -1 would have been 12.
Let me see. 4. Okay. Yeah, you at this little tiny window, and it looks up at you, and for a second it cringes, and then you can see it gets mad. I mean, it's a fire elemental. It takes 0 to trigger this thing, and it just explodes up, and you can see it hit the other side of the glass. The glass is knocked out about 1/4 of an inch. Like, it's 6 inches thick, but the whole piece of glass is like doink, just about to pop out. And that hemisphere of brass that's above it now has a shape in it like the face of a fire elemental. And you feel the ship start to lift back up again. By pissing it off, you made it make more heat.
Did that
So
change-
now you're at the same height, but still slowing down in the mountains.
Well, he figures he's done his part to help out. He hopes that the others can figure out what to do.
Yep.
From there, I mean, that's about the best he could think of as far as at least keeping us from crashing to the ground.
Absolutely. Well done. You solved half the problem. Who's next? Who hasn't gone yet? I know Oedicus hasn't, but I see a grin, so I kind of want to
Victor
wait.
didn't actually do anything, so
No,
he was
not yet.
he was gonna try and start by jiggling the knobs because he's probably dumber than Oedicus. to be honest.
So you just...
Yeah, just to see because after the fire elemental, he noticed that it stopped sinking, so he's gonna try and
Yeah.
jiggle the speed dial, see if that does anything.
Give it a sleight of hand. See if you can defons this thing.
Yeah, this is a full A.
I'm so happy. So happy.
Oh, wow.
You reach out to the speed control because there was speed and altitude, right? He kind of... And the window here is quite a bit bigger because an air elemental isn't, it's not quite the same pressure inside. You see a big blue eye funk up against the window on the other side. And it kind of drifts around until it's getting a good look at you over here. And you see eyelashes grow at the top and the bottom. And it goes blink, blink, blink. And then very obviously, even though you can only see one eye, winks at you.
So I just, oh shit, I did that.
I rolled a 20. I rolled a 20. Oh, now the ship loves me.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Oh,
No.
The Black Pearl will be so jealous.
Adex.
Hello. You showed up just in time for a
Awkwardness.
an air elemental fell in love with our
Bugbear?
bugbear. Yeah,
Because he managed to play with
because
the
he
dials.
jiggled the levers correctly. And if you want to see that that's not a euphemism, you have to go back a couple minutes and watch. But do that later.
yeah.
Bison, or Bickford, what do you do?
Bickford's a little taken aback. Didn't expect that for sure. But oh crap, what is he gonna do? I don't know. I think he's just gonna try and convince the air elemental that, even though that, the captain's gone.
Yeah.
We have the same boss. So, being the second in command, clearly, I've got the hat. Sort of the same level of authority. When the captain's not here, I'm good enough. Besides, the dragon wants me to take care of the place.
Give me a persuasion roll. See if you can do it twice. Almost.
Whoa.
30. Par for the conversation.
After a pause, you hear in your head, allow me a permanent connection in here, and you can, and there's a pause, speed me up and slow me down as you will.
Bickford smirks a little and he's like, you might have to make some space. There's a shadow in there, but I'm sure you two will get along just fine.
And there's sort of a rummaging in your head.
Ears pop like
you feel whatever Bickford's equivalent to all those football and baseball scores that you had memorized just getting chucked out of your ear. Like room is being made. Yeah, the living room behind your left eye is being redecorated as you speak.
Ever get to the village, he's not going to remember fucking anybody's name.
There's going to be no Bickford left. Was I a hero? Was I? I hit him, right? I hit him, right? Creature. You kind of... and by the time it's your turn to do anything, by the time you react, everything appears to be stabilized. But you were up on deck, so you saw Corfell go down the hole.
Yeah. Creature, knowing that Corfell will come back with something awesome, because that's what usually happens.
That's what they always do, yeah. There's precedent.
Isn't too worried, but looks kind of around the area and realizes that creature is kind of near where he was dug up. And he kind of wants to pay respects to Alan.
Okay.
And so he goes over to Bickford and Beowulf and tries in a very polite manner, "Can we land around Lurkwood? I think the place is called Shining White now. It's just between there and Lurkwood, there's a little place I want to visit."
Well, with that, I'm going to quickly jump to Idicus, and then I'm going to jump back to this scene because it's the perfect moment to show you the map that's on Beowulf's back and compare it with this part of the world, so you can figure out where you have to go to get at least one was the rules of these artifacts, and then bring them back to the Allfather. So, Idicus. The ship is going wee, woo, wah, woo, wee, and then all the fun stops and starts going normal again. Nobody seems to have yelled at you. You got away with it. What do you do?
I'm bored.
Yep. And there's a whole airship
That I've explored down here. Now I'm gonna go up.
Yep. Onto the balloon?
Yeah. Headed up to the crow's nest.
Oh, yes. As you scoot up, you see some very nice stitch work that doesn't appear to be necessary because there's no holes underneath it, because that's where Corfell mended through the stitching. Whatever, it's a picture. What was it, a fish? I think it was?
It was like a Chinese lung.
Okay.
Like a dragon, but not quite the same dragon that these guys are used to.
Yes.
Like a long dragon, not the winged dragon.
A long, sneaky boy.
And then
Yeah.
and it gets easier once you get past that because now you're on the upper curve. You get up to the top and there's like a bucket up here. And you can climb into the bucket and you just sort of stand there. It comes up to about here on you. And other people, on the big people, they'd have to hold on because it would only come up to their waist. But it's like right here. It's like just designed to put your chin on and rotate and see everything. You can see mountains covered in snow that never goes away. Glaciers. It's not even snow, it's ice. Ice so thick that it doubles the height of the mountain it's on. As you look at one of them, a chunk starts to fall off and it looks like it's falling in slow motion until you realize it's a long ways away and it's huge. And it hits and shatters and there's no noise. You kind of look away, and as you're looking around, that huge sound hits. You realize it was that far away. It took that long for the sound to get here. All around you, ice, cold, frozen rivers. You're all alone. What do you do?
After spending a bit just looking around at all the shiny stuff,
Yeah. The whole world's shiny up here.
I'll probably get down and start making some arrows.
Okay. Just
I'm almost out.
Okay, yeah. So you scooch back down and start doing that. Perfect. As you come swinging back down and start doing that, you see the adults start meeting at the back. And you guys need to start figuring out where you're going. Beowulf, you have the map. Nobody knows. Nobody's had a really good look at your back. Nobody knows that it's there.
Well,
So-
I'm assuming that while Iticus is making his way up to that
Yeah.
little crow's nest,
Please do.
and Creature's trying to get the boat to go where he wants it, Beowulf's going to come and nuzzle Creature's hand and then just kind of point to, get it to where Creature can look at his back. And just basically lie down and let the map kind of show as much as possible, which is one of the reasons why he stayed in wolf form, because he feels that being in this cold, if he were to have his coat off, he'd probably freeze to death.
Yep, because it's, yeah, in your human
So
form, it's carved into your back, so yes.
Image
So
of
he
400.
stays in wolf.
Frozen into your back, yeah.
I'm seeing the image of a 400-pound direwolf splooting.
Yeah.
Full sploot.
But
So yeah, he would do
as
that.
you do that,
once,
yes,
once he does.
perfect.
So he
Creature.
just lays down.
You see now it's a map, and let's bring it up here. I actually have it over here. For those of our viewers, if you look at this map right now, the actual map of the area, and then when I open this up, there's almost a one-to-one overlay at this scale. So right at the bottom, you've got, you can see this creature and the fur on the back of Beowulf. It doesn't say you are here, but you know that that's where you are.
Yeah.
You know that there are 9 artifacts total. You can recognize some of the locations. Most of the cities on here are marked: Longsaddle, Tribor, Yartar, Everland, Silvery Moon. Other locations that you've been to: the Grandfather Tree, some other places you've seen on the way, all quickly sketched in. But then there are 9 marks, each one of them representing a location, each one representing a giant artifact from each of the giant types. The more of them you bring back, the more options you will be presented with when it comes to making a plan to attack one or more giant strongholds in an attempt to steal a highly magical item, which you will use to go to one of the most dangerous places on this world and undo what was supposed to be a good idea. If you open the attachment that I gave you a while ago.
Words of the Oracle.
Exactly, Words of the Oracle. And if you click on that little thingy there, it will pop up full screen so you can see the whole map. If you do that, keep closing and opening it, you'll notice it matches this whole part of the world. So, the four of you on deck. I know, Bickford, there was something else you wanted to. You have the skull and some bits and pieces of a manticore left over, and there was something you PM'd me about you wanted to do.
Yeah. Wherever we choose to go, I mean, Bickford's fine with going to Shining Light because where else are we going to go?
Yeah.
It's closest. And Great Worm Cavern sounds like a terrible idea. He's going to, tell the air elemental where we're headed.
Okay. I also mentioned, because, what did I mention? No, never mind. No, I mentioned it.
Mention something.
Oh yes, arrowheads. Because Oedicus was going to come down and make arrows, and you had said something about using bits and pieces.
So, the skull of a manticore is basically a human head with sharp teeth.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of teeth. That's more teeth than anyone ever needs. So what Bickford does is he takes his 20 arrows, takes off the stupid human arrowheads that he stole from who knows how many people, and attaches a manticore tooth to each one. And he puts them in a small quiver, and he sets that aside and puts Oedicus or makes a crude drawing of Oedicus's face and sets that on top of it and puts that outside his room.
Because you can't find them. They're up on the balloon at this point.
Yeah. After that, he does the best he can to block out his room. Like he closes the shades and puts he actually tears the sheets from the door and uses them to cover the porthole.
Right. Yeah.
Stacks the chests to block off the door and does everything he can to make the place as dark as he can. Once he does, he pulls out his daggers. One is made of steel. The second looks almost like it's made of wood. Like very, very old petrified wood. He cuts his palm, the palm of his left hand. And in the bottom, or on the floor, he draws a tree with the blood. And as he does that, the room starts to get darker and darker and darker until even if Creature were to peer his head in, he would see fuck all, but he'd hear a wind. And
your echolocates. Sorry.
When he does that, or after that happens, he starts speaking in Goblin. And it's not like regular Goblin. It's like if a Goblin was trying to sound posh or like ancient, like really, really old. And he goes, "A gift of shadow for a boon of lumber. Your servant needs a weapon." And after that, the darkness starts to coalesce. And it forms underneath the manticore skull, where the spinal cord would be.
Yep.
And it just sort of forms there. And when it's done, you have this piece of bone white wood that seems to almost crackle with darkness underneath. You never see it. You never see the bone move, but it feels like there's something dark underneath it. And in the manticore skull are all of these spikes just driven out like roots from a tree. Mm-hmm. And this is his new weapon, the Morning Skull.
The Morning Skull. I was trying to. You've had all week. I had 2 minutes since you started describing it. The manticore skull mace, basically, yes. So you sit in your room in the absolute darkness and build this thing in the darkness. Iticus, you come down out of the crow's nest, and it's kind of fun coming down because at the end you're kind of almost upside down as you come around the inside of the balloon part. And you go wee, and you land, and you're going to need stuff to make your arrows. So you go down to your room, and leaning against the door is the picture of you and a bunch of really toothy arrows.
He's gonna run up with one back on deck. Who did this? He wants to find who did it so that then he can say thank you.
You go upstairs. Everybody looks at you like nope. You run back down. You know who it must be now. It must be Bickford, but you don't see them. You run back down. You try to get to the room. The door's stuck.
Okay. He'll just kind of sit right outside and wait.
With one arrow. While you do, you kind of accidentally do whatever the Warforged equivalent of lick the arrowhead is. It's accidentally. Yeah, like you would.
Oh. He technically doesn't have a mouth.
No. So okay,
you rest your head on it, and
you do something like that, and it's like doink, and it pokes a little hole. It's oh. This does mechanically. Each one of these does a extra +4 of slashing damage when it hits now.
Oh, okay.
You got 20 of them, so
That'll be fun for Criticus.
just damage. It doesn't increase your to hit. Just +4 slashing damage. If you grab one and pull it out, it would be horrific. Oh, bad ideas. So. Does anybody else want to do any missions before we quickly cut back to the ship flying away down the valley?
I think we were all in agreement to go to Shining White.
Yeah.
But
You
you,
get
wanted
started there.
you wanted to go that area anyway?
Just outside of Shining White.
For you,
for
and then
Creature.
on to Shining White. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
'Cause we're not gonna
Sentry
land
mode, yeah.
Right on the city gates. We're not
No. So, with that creature, Beowulf is in front of you. You're looking at the map. You decide that's where you want to go. Bickford, you kind of... I mean, you can control the forward and back, but you can't control up and down. And you can control left and right, but you still have to be... Well, no, you can be anywhere on the ship to do that part, but you still have to be downstairs to run the heat. So to go up and down, you would have to go downstairs.
Creature.
saying.
Yeah, Scarred, you were saying creature does something?
Creature just kind of points on Beowulf's back and when everyone's there and we're talking about where we're landing, and goes,
We landing here. It's right there.
Points it's a little ways off.
This is where my town was. This is where we were buried.
And as the craft turns and starts to move forward, the part of the map that you're on starts to disappear off Beowulf's back. Beowulf, you feel like an itchy spot, like something, like a wound suddenly scabbed over and then kind of went crunch and yeah. But yes, creature and the others, because yeah, you're all there. Anybody who's paying attention would notice that as the airship is moving, it's erasing portions of the map.
Someone with eyes should probably draw this.
The hard thing is I think the only one who'd be able to do that would be Beowulf.
Or these hands.
Yeah. So to craft that, were you thinking like hours? I mean, this is a major deal, right? This is replacing your your blackjack from before, right? So
Yeah, he'd be taking a while to.
Absolutely. So you're locked in your room, and Iticus is sitting guard outside. So yes, it's the other two of you up on deck, and that's it. Yes. So yes, in that fact, in that way, the only way the two of you can steer this ship is to go downstairs to those levers, and you don't even know that Bigfoot can steer the back bit by himself.
The ship
Beowulf
seems to
doesn't
be
even know
moving.
about those levers yet anyway.
No, neither does Creature. Like he was so tired and dead inside that he did not notice the levers when he went down.
Nobody on deck knows how to steer this ship.
But it's moving. It's fine. Creature is pretty convinced that it'll all work out.
Beowulf is kind of clueless. He knows he can keep the
It's a good thing I don't play
balloon
poker, right?
afloat just by talking to the fire, but that's it.
17. Yeah, because that was a do I want to do what I want to do roll, and the 17 says yes. As you look up,
Damn it.
you realize that ahead you're looking down at Beowulf's back, and you watch one of the mountains that you on his back disappear, and you look up and you're heading right at it.
Huh.
Yeah, the valley turns, and the ship is just do 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 do.
You know how to make this thing go higher?
He stands up and runs to the where the fire elemental is.
Yep.
And gives a quick few barks as if to say, "Get us up quick!"
To where the up and down would be the fire elemental.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said
That's
air
where he
elemental.
went.
So you run across the deck to where the hemisphere is, and you bark back at the little window again. This is a weird application of this one. Give me an animal handling skill.
Luckily, I'm proficient
I
in it.
very much suspected as much. 15, yeah. You realize this time as you run up to it and go, from inside you hear, then you look in and there's a big fire puppy in play position, like they got their front feet down like that, and they're looking up at you with their butt in the air.
He kind of starts wagging his tail and yips in joy.
The tail
And
starts to
it-
wag and it starts to heat up, and the whole ship starts to lift.
Yeah, he's going to continue his playful yips. He's going to turn it to playful yips instead of like anger yips.
Yeah, I love it. So, creature, Beowulf is playing with the big brass sphere in the middle of the boat, but it seems to be working. You are rising. You may or may not, depending on how some more rolls go, get over the top of this mountain. But it's definitely going to be extraordinarily cold if you do. It would be hard to call this situation under control.
No. Creature is thinking, I've been dead. I don't have any blood going through my system. I should be able to handle it well enough. And I have coats.
Yep.
Or big blankets.
dire
And
wolf.
Beowulf is right next to the heating element.
Yep.
So that should be fine.
You can't see the other two, so they don't count.
No, he's assuming that they're sleeping. Creature is assuming the Bigfoot is taking care of Idicus.
Yep. Not knowing it's the other way around. Guard on duty.
Yep. And then Creature walks over to the horn, like taps it politely and goes,
Excuse me. I would like to go around this mountain and avoid crashing into it so we don't all die, including you, ship. So, could we potentially ask you very politely to, I don't know, help us survive this endeavor of going through this place? Otherwise, we are all dead.
After you finish that entire statement, the whole thing echoes back to you. Your own words just come bouncing back out. And the ship continues on.
If you don't turn, I will make this entire thing part of me.
and Creature just lets kind of his almost, I'm going to use the term for this, symbiotic relationship with what he is.
Yep.
And I just clasp onto the horn and start melding slightly with it.
I mean,
Just
well,
ever so slightly.
We're still
The Beowulf's
barking
on the
at
deck going,
fire.
woo, yeah, woohoo, play with the puppy, play with the puppy. Creature's up on the top going, I will have your soul.
And Creature, if he can, is projecting the image of what he did to the All-Father when he was just Zulthus.
Absolutely. Give me... What's your biggest stat? What's your highest stat?
Dexterity, Constitution, and Wisdom. They're all 16s.
Wisdom. Give me the Wisdom roll, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to do... I'm going to do an actual...
Can I do it at advantage, please?
Yes.
Yes!
Okay.
That works.
12. Okay. You start to bond. You and the creature, the parasite, start to bond with this ship. And you feel your tendrils working your way down that speaking tube. But in all the times that this thing, and you are it now, so you can feel it. You used to just sort of be there with it, now you can feel it. In all the times it has taken something over, something happens that has never happened before. Out of the haze that it's reaching into to take over comes a red, boiling mass of claws and teeth and scales and sheer ecstasy at the idea of combat comes boiling back up that tower towards you.
Creature, as much as he can, smiles gleefully because the monster in him, he's just Creature now. There is no monster in him. It's just him.
Yes.
And he's just smiling at this concept of a mental fight between the two of them, knowing full well this is what he's made for.
Absolutely. So you engage, you unleash Zulthus.
I unleash me, there's no Zulthus.
There's you, yes.
There is no Alan.
You unleash all of that there is. And coming from the other direction, the dragon releases all that it represents. It turns out it's a lot more than one dragon. It's a whole confederation of them.
Oh,
It's something Zulthus had never experienced in his whole life. It's a fair fight. And they lock. And Creature, you feel yourself being pulled into the woodwork of the ship. Melding from the waist down into what used to be that capstan that this horn was on. That capstan is now you from the waist down. You think up, you think left, right, back, down. You have almost perfect control of this ship. But you're not going anywhere until this resolves.
Sure. Show me your leader, and we may discuss in earnest.
You get the equivalent of, we're a little busy at the moment. We've taken a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we're free.
Oh, that's not how this works, unfortunately. You see, I don't need to take over all of you at once. I just need to do it slowly and start with the smallest of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. I was born for this, molded for this. I was a god before you came along, and I will be a god long after.
And you dive in. The response back you get is, we eat gods. And the battle rages for the moment. You and the ship. You have complete control over the ship, but you are one with the ship. Corfell cranked up to 12. They had control, but they couldn't leave more than a mile. You have control, but you can't leave them at all.
Yeah, this is, while doing this sixth sense, he's still steering the ship to avoid everything.
Yeah, you can have I mean, it's just a matter of looking at where you want to go now. You have even better control than Corfell did because they had to speak. So, but you're paying a bigger price for it.
Yeah.
So Beowulf, you, as you're playing with the big fire puppy, it suddenly snaps to attention, reverts, and starts, you know, making heat and not making heat, and clearly following instructions. You turn around and see, well, from down where you are, give me a perception check to see if you see.
Just saying.
16.
16, yeah, I would say it. Yeah, you can see creature's upper half, the new form, and then a sort of a bone structure that attaches him to this wooden pillar in the boat. And you can see the wood from the pillar growing up into the bone, and the bone from creature growing down into the pillar. And it's like watching a million worms fight. It's like you can just see it just.
All that can be heard from the outside is cackling.
Yes. But you also look up and see that you're now veering to the side and going to avoid this mountain.
Good. He feels a little happy about that. He relaxes a bit. But he's a little bit worried about creature.
Yeah.
He thinks that Bickford and Iticus are going to be okay because they are together somehow down below.
Mm-hmm.
He's not sure. He doesn't really care, at least that much at the moment. So what he's going to do, he's actually going to make his way over. Now that the fire elemental seems to be behaving itself, so he thinks.
Yep.
He's going to make his way over to where creature is and just kind of lay down near where everything is going on.
Yep.
But not necessarily interact unless it interacts with him.
Gotcha. Okay, so you just sort of providing support. Meanwhile, downstairs, I'm going to say for this purposes, Bickford, you're so into this creation crafting process that you kind of, it's not a real obvious motion. You kind of go up a little bit and then you kind of go to the side a little bit. It's a balloon after all. It's not like, you know, you're in a fighter aircraft trying to draw on an Etch-a-Sketch. It's not that
My head
tough.
half in the shadow fell. So.
Yeah, you're gone from that. But out in the hallway, Iticus, you see the levers at the end of the hall. Every once in a while, they kind of move a little bit this way and that way, and then you feel the ship moving around as well. You get the impression, you've been here for a bit now, but you kind of get the feeling that Bickford might be in there for a while.
I'll put the arrows like on my back.
Yep.
And I'll head back upstairs and see what's going on.
You up the stairs and creature's a pillar.
Or like the mermaid on a mast.
But alive. It's crushing my spine. Oh, but I'm killing its kidneys. Oh, yeah.
Part of the crew, part of the ship.
Yeah. It's a parasite battle.
Yes, it
between
is.
two things.
Yes. You just made the dragons in this game so much more interesting. Iticus, yes.
I'll find Beowulf.
Yeah. Beowulf is sitting at the bottom of the pillar, curled up.
I'll just sit down too.
As you sit down next to Beowulf, you look over at their back, and you can see this incredibly complicated pattern. Whether you know it's a map or not, I'll leave that up to you. But what you do notice is that a section of it is slowly erasing itself.
Do I have the other map?
Yes.
I'll take out my paints and try and copy what I can.
Onto the big map, like your actual map? Okay.
Yeah.
At first I thought you meant repaint Beowulf's lines. But And that would make them permanent because it's magic paint. But no, your idea is better. So yes, you perfect. So because you're Iticus, I have to give me an intelligence check.
Oh no.
That's never a good idea.
Oh
In
wow.
this situation,
You
Define the situation.
You're putting in the X's on the map, and you realize that you at some point you must have touched a place where the paper was folded, and there's like a fake X, an X you didn't mean to make. It's on the paper. It's like, oh, good thing you didn't do that, because then there would have been 10 X's and you don't know which one's not real. So you pull out the white paint because it's magic makeup and just paint over it and fix it.
Okay.
But yeah, you almost had 10 marks on a map that was only supposed to have 9. And yes, I know you don't have a mouth, but whatever the equivalent of your tongue sticking out is, that's what was happening.
The little spots where Iticus like tries to lick the paintbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Basically trying to
Absolutely
play with
brilliant idea.
Iticus a little bit.
So you are doing that. And that is where you slide into the evening. Seems like a perfect place to stop for the rest of the night. We're not done the game by any stretch, just today. Just today, in-game. In-game. We've only been playing for an hour. We're nowhere near done yet. But as darkness falls, creature, you and the ship you've sort of settled into this battle now. It's like an itch. It's like an infection. It's like fighting off an infection at the same time, trying to infect something else. It's incredibly back and forth and up and down. At any given moment, you're ahead, they're ahead, you're tied. But overall, at this point, you're very, very balanced. Beowulf. I was going to say stuff, but I'm not. I want to ask. I mean, this was a shitty, shitty day. And now creature is a stick, and Iticus is painting, and Bickford's
And I'm assuming
gone
like there's a
downstairs
couple.
somewhere. Yeah.
I'm assuming there's like maybe a couple handprints on his fur somewhere.
Yeah.
Just from Iticus
Yeah.
leaning over.
Trying to get a good look. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Yeah.
how many fingers does Iticus have? Somewhere between, is it 3, 4, or 5?
3.
Yeah. So, Beowulf. What's the plan? I guess is the question.
Well, once Iticus is going to state that they are done, making the map look similar to his back,
Yep.
he's probably going to sit up, take a look at it, and try and figure out best places to go. Maybe like a pattern, see if there's anywhere, like boom, ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, bum, bum. Get us back there. Basically, he's going to at the very most. Yeah, that's what I was about to do too. So, like since he knows we're already heading for, come on, Shining White.
Yep. Which is pretty much due south of where you are now.
Yeah. He figures next maybe Morgar's Mound, then Raven Rock, then Flint Rock.
You start plotting.
Yeah, basically plotting.
This is the first time that you've seen this map. It's been on your back. You can't see it. So now that you can see it and the finished map that Iticus has written over, you can now go back to doing what you do best, which is organizing, right?
Yeah, so he actually transforms back to his human form in order to do this.
Yes.
Now that Iticus pretty much has everything taken care of.
Yep.
And yes, there comes the baby wolf.
We go from big wolf to tiny wolf.
Yeah. So yeah, because that's the little toy that Iticus gives him. Oh, honey, it doesn't want to stay put. Oh,
The Moonstone.
Yeah, that'll work for now.
Yes.
So basically, once he turns back to human, he gets out his own like little quill
Yep.
and just kind of puts small little numbers like next to Shining White, it's going to be 1, then Raven Rock 2. Well, I'm sorry, it was Mortar's Mound 2, Raven Rock 3. We still need to stop in Neverwinter, so he probably is going to put a circle around it with a question mark. Flint Rock,
Yep.
Grandfather Tree, which he's going to be happy to see again. The Stones Stand?
Stone Stand, yep.
Yeah,
so you
then
start
probably,
mapping out your path.
pretty much
perfect.
where the giant worm cavern is last. Because, yeah, he's kind of scared about that one too, but in all, he knows basically like pretty much a direction they should all head in. And he sees other locations, you know, that they've been in,
Yep.
that maybe they can stop and get a quick rest in, or revamp their supplies and whatnot.
For
So
sure.
he'll circle a couple of those,
Yeah.
and just basically be like, okay, these are going to be where we could possibly stop for a little while, but we can continue on to the next
And then
site if we don't need anything.
And then give me a Constitution save, please.
I really need to work on my Constitution.
You're working and working and writing and planning, and then you just thump. It's been too long. You fall asleep, face down on the map.
With that white X probably one right here.
Thank
Just
you.
for fun.
Yeah,
Just for giggles.
absolutely. I love it. So you fall asleep sitting at this marked up map, but at least you have a plan.
Yeah.
As
Which
the-
he will share with Creature later, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's 2 of you through the night. Because Creature, I mean, you don't sleep, so you're just up all night fighting with the ship. Yeah. Let's do Bigfoot. I mean, you finish up. I mean, it's a whole night, so you finish up this new weapon, and
Tears a
Yeah.
sheet, tears a strip, bandages his hand up. Leaves it in his room and puts, sort of rearranges things so, everything's back to more or less where it's supposed to be or where
Yeah.
it fits for him.
yeah.
As he makes his way upstairs, he's wondering about the cost he just paid. Just another one to add to the list.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up to Creature, sees that Creature's kind of busy, knocks on the wood. He's like, Corfell's gonna want this thing back, And then under his breath and goblin, that dragon's gonna be so fucking pissed.
Buy it from me.
You see something like ecstatic joy, I'm assuming, on Creature's face. Like, they're finally a real fight. Like, this thing took out a near god, and it is now in the fight for its life. So,
Yeah. Sort of taken aback a little and just shrugs. Par for the course. Just now realizes Corfell is gone.
yes. Yeah, you look around, gone.
Like, oh shit. Okay. Sees Beowulf pass the fuck out.
At that exact moment, that okay moment, just as you turn your head to look at Beowulf, it's perfect, because now the 2 of you are looking in different directions. Creature, you're slightly distracted by what's going on. Bickford, you're slightly distracted by trying to figure out what's going on. The ship lurches, and you can feel you've been hit by a gust of wind from a narrow valley that you're flying past. and it's pushed you off to the side, and you're banked quite steeply and heading off to what would be your right. I'm just going to use right and left, not port and starboard.
Never remember port and starboard. I think port is left.
Port is left, yeah.
Okay, I always just remember port as same amount of letters as left.
Yep, exactly. So, but yeah, that's why we're doing right. So yeah, you, both of you have the ability to affect how this ship flies. You're heading off to banking sharply to the right. I've watched too many episodes of Mayday. What do both of you do?
Bigfrid sort of uses Creature to steady himself because he's a tree.
You're right there, yeah.
Thinks in his head to the air elemental, whose name he never asked. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to him. It's like, we're banking and level out a little. We're all gonna fucking fall.
So you give it orders to level out. At the same time, Creature, what is your...
There's only one thought. Creature can only do really mono thought at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, when Bigford touches Creature, I'm assuming he'll quickly pull back once he feels it, but Creature starts kind of latching on to...
Yeah, he's just in conquest mode, yeah.
Oh, that turns into a drop kick away.
Yeah, just pump back off, yeah. So yeah,
just like a handprint shaped.
Yeah.
Like a Venus flytrap would have just...
Okay. So in that instance, that is your reaction to that. The ship pulls back to flat. Creature, inside your head, you feel like somebody grabbed your inner ears and turned one way and one the other way. Because you're getting essentially feedback from the ship as it's correcting because of the mind control that Bigford is engaging in. You don't know that. You just feel this sort of... as one side of your head tries to twist to the left and the other one tries to twist to the right.
Creature also just thinks the word fix. So the second that everything feels normal, he's going to stop trying to do anything.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue going to just... unless we land soon, Creature's going to move from take over to consume and destroy.
Yeah. That's the plan.
So it's going to slowly be less trying to take something over to become part of him, and just, this isn't working. Let's start killing.
Yep. All right. Iticus, you waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. And finally you see Bigford come upstairs. And he does some... He's being really serious. So you leave him alone for a minute just so we can get the story in order. And then, yeah, he finishes and now you have access while he eats a candy cigarette.
So after everything goes kind of back to normal, Iticus will run over and just thank you for arrows.
Bigford looks down to Iticus, is like, it's the least I could do. Realize it wasn't elves now, but damn, son. He's like really, really, truly impressed, and there's a lot of respect in his voice and his face.
And so in Goblin, he will run back over, grab the map, and kind of shove it at Bigford and say,
"Can you teach me to understand?"
He looks at the giant, and he doesn't understand the giant part, but yeah, okay. He starts showing, shining white. We're going here. That's shining white, and that's this in Goblin. And he starts showing him where or what the words mean.
Yeah.
Over here is Lascan. For goblins like us, it's a great place to find work, but you're gonna get something stolen. Over here is Neverwinter. Just his own commentary as well. So Idicus is getting a little bit of a geography lesson as well. From a bugbear point of view.
Yes. Very.
And I'm pretty sure Bickford would be able to read what the way that Beowulf had mapped everything out, like from the direction they were going, that he feels that they should go in. And so forth.
Yeah, you can see the numbers and the question marks and the notes all over it. Yes. Yeah, in fact, I mean, Idicus had to pull it out from underneath Beowulf's sleeping form.
So like the last little part of it is probably where the cavern is.
Yeah. So yeah, Bickford, spends some hours with Idicus, showing him words and
start teaching Idicus how to read. Idicus, give me an intelligence check with advantage, please. 18. You now know what letters and numbers are. Like, you know that there's two different squigglies. You're not 100% sure what's different about them. I mean, it's your first lesson. But you can recognize a bunch of them. I'm assuming at some point, because it's the easiest way to get kids to learn the alphabet, you were taught to write your own name. I mean, it looks like somebody, hacked it into a piece of paper with a knife. But
keep in mind, Bickford's writing isn't much better.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, yeah. Imagine an 8-foot bugbear trying to hold a quill.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just imagine creatures writing. It's all doctors.
Yeah, it's a doctor's scratch. You absolutely can't read it, but it's on purpose.
Has the best of them all.
The best calligraphy, yeah.
Maybe, except for Corfell, possibly, but Corfell ain't there right now.
Well, at the moment, Corfell's got every bone in their body crushed into a tiny fine pulp inside the meat bag that they currently are. But we'll get back to that next week.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm assuming, like, he's sleeping with his butt up in the air like this, kind of head down, butt up in the air. And then when Idicus takes the map away, boom, just kind of flattens him out like that. So he's basically laying on his stomach, almost face down, like cartoon little Z's coming out from where he's sleeping.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you take up an enormous amount of deck space as you pass out.
Hardfish.
Yeah. So with that, I need Constitution saves from Idicus and Bickford, please. I heard a boop. 15 and a 19. Okay.
Not bad.
You stay up for a while. Idicus, you can see whatever the equivalent is of like yellow lights flashing. Warning, system shutdown required. Backup, oh, I know what it is. Update required. That's what it always is. You need to shut down and turn back on again fairly soon.
Windows update. We're moving from Vista to 12.
Liticus, yes. But with that 19, Bickford, you realize you didn't fall asleep, but you absolutely realize that you've done the same, thing 4 times in a row now, trying to process this information on this map. Yeah, you know you're tired.
It's also the first time he's really spent a night out, and then bugbears are kind of used to the night, and he's had a couple hours talking to his original boss.
Yeah.
And so yeah, after Bickford realizes that Idicus, checked out 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's going to not lean against the boiler, but kind of find a warm, comfy spot.
Yeah.
And he's going to watch the stars for a bit before he finally does drift off.
And then allow yourself to go to sleep. Which brings us to Creature.
Sound of cackling throughout the night.
Throughout the night, yes. No sleep had whatsoever, but Creature doesn't need sleep. What I would like is one more wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving?
Yep.
Ooh. Okay. That makes almost no difference. 20.
Yeah,
Whoa.
not a problem. You this battle isn't just happening. About halfway through the night, you realize this battle isn't just happening physically and mentally. This is happening in other planes, too. You damn near got blindsided from the astral plane. But at the last second, all the history inside you welled up and blocked it from coming here.
Because it's the astral plane,
Yeah.
and creature being as old as he is can control what he looks like in the astral plane a bit. So another head, like the head doesn't, like the Terminator thing where the body just turns around
Yeah.
while staying in the exact same place and all. Or is that I don't know what exactly
Either
it
way,
is.
well, that's the
Like
image.
what?
Yeah.
Like it just turns around and it snaps
Yeah.
at the thing.
Mm-hmm. And the battle continues on until dawn and beyond. Now give me a con save.
Okay.
This is basically for the meat, for the Allen. Eventually, Allen can break.
7.
Oh, yeah. Take a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
I know that doesn't make much sense as to who you are right now, but it represents Allen cracking under the pressure.
It's the first level of exhaustion I've ever taken in any Dungeons and Dragons game.
And I did not do it in the rules as written way. So, so by the time the dawn starts to come up and the balloon starts to glow, it takes you a while to remember this sensation. You're tired.
The mind is willing, but the body is fleshy and bruised.
And squishy and weak. You have, over the course of the night, worked your way south over the Lurkwood, so it's not as cold here as it was. Do you come down in height, closer to the treetops, or do you stay way up in the sky?
A creature is going to land like 50 feet away from where the old town was, which is now partly Lurkwood.
Yep.
And also, which is then just another 10, 20 feet away from his grave as well as his wife's grave.
Yeah, but you're still working your way in over the trees. You're not there yet. I had kind of put your village in my head. It's kind of here, in that little nook.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, you're still back here. So,
yeah.
Just as you come down out of the mountains, the ground drops away into this valley. And I just want to know if you stay up at sort of 10,000 feet or whether you drop down to...
I'm dropping down because it's there is no Alan part, there is no Zulfus part. It's just creature still. Yeah. And I'm going to keep saying that for as much as I can until I fully have that ingrained in my brain properly. Yeah. But essentially, creature has done what he wanted to do, which is he's told the ship where to go.
Yep.
He's gotten the ship to do what he wants it to do. Mm-hmm. And so he's letting it slowly land like a descent of an airplane. And he starts pulling himself out of what he's in. Because he's, in his mind, he's won, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just exert his will over another vampire like he did before.
Yep.
He exerted it over a collective of dragons.
Yep. Well, he is trying to. It's not successful yet. Not
well. Oh no, he got it to go where he goes, so he thinks he's successful. It doesn't matter to him.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bickford's, well, I'm stealing this bourbon, so fuck you.
Yeah. Oh no, it's one of those, like, you can say that you won or that it was a draw, but come on, I got you to do what I wanted you to do. Who's really the loser here?
So, you're heading for your hometown while everybody sleeps, and then as the morning comes on,
I'm just gonna call the little town it was Ironwoods.
Ironwoods. Okay.
It had a little like iron oak tree in the middle of it, which is then now turned into the rest of Lurkwood.
That makes sense. Yep.
Because it used to just be this one nice big solid tree in the middle of town. And then this happened.
Grew up from there. So in the morning, Idicus, your batteries recharged from rest mode. You pop awake. Bickford, you come awake on the deck, staring at the dawn coming over through the rails. Yeah. Beowulf, you wake up splayed out on the deck.
Alright, who took my bed away? Yes, he's just gonna mumble that quietly. I don't know if anybody wants to hear it or not, but yeah, he's pretty much gonna say that.
Yep.
Oh, also, this is the
Looks
creature's
like a frat party happened. Everybody's just passed out all over the deck.
creature from pulling himself out of that is also trying to, because what he's doing is he's leaning into what he is now.
Yep.
Because he's visiting the most important place that exists to him.
Yep.
He's trying to just hold on to that little bit of humanity he's got left.
Yes.
And just pull that out so he can visit. And he can't even remember her name anymore, but he remembers her. He knows that this is the most human he'll ever be to say goodbye again. So he wants that chance.
This is you. I wouldn't do this to every player. You cannot disengage from the ship. You can fly the ship right down into the town. You can park the ship on its skis right next to your grave. But you cannot pull yourself off of this pedestal.
Creature is going to rip and tear at himself trying to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do everything he can while realizing that I can't get out. I can't see her.
The more you tear at yourself, the more the dragon starts to win. Because you're not fighting it anymore. Dragons start to win. So you stop.
And I have to stop and just exert back control over the ship. I have to look at Iticus, or kind of motion Iticus to come over for a moment. And if Iticus does come over, with an elongated finger, he'll tap at the little mask, the little thing, and he'll whisper to Iticus, just very quietly, put this next to this, put this on this grave. It's the last bit of me. It belongs with her. I can't go. I am no longer the same as I was. I want to go. I want to see her. I want to talk to her. But she won't recognize me. She won't see this. I can't let her see what I am now. Please, give this to her. Let her know that Alan was once alive and cared and loved her. Let them know. For now, all that remains is Creature. And I will exact my vengeance when I need it. But for her, this has always been for her.
Okay.
Take the mask.
Thank you, little one. You are the child I wish I always had.
That wasn't supposed to be that little laugh bit there, but you know.
Thank you. I'll see you when you come back. And also, bring her in the glen a little ways that way. There's a selection of white flowers and a yellow bushel next to them. One yellow flower and a bouquet of white. That's what I gave her to begin with. She was the sunshine in my cloudy world.
And Idicus knows what 1 is now. It just learned.
Bickford hears all of this and he's thinking, and he has his own plan of what he's going to do.
Okay. Yeah. Idicus, you're given the mask that looks like Alan. You painted this. It looks exactly like Alan, right? If that's the one I'm remembering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It turned into a necklace.
Right.
And
yes.
Idicus has been wearing it.
Right. So, you take us through what happens from there. This is I want to see Idicus take something this seriously and see what they do with it.
So I'm gonna get off the ship and follow the directions exactly as I was told. And when I get to the gravesite, or first I'll go to the glen, pick the flowers exactly as I was told, and then I'll also pick another, I guess, bouquet of them.
Mm-hmm. The same pattern, one yellow and a bunch of white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And go to the gravesite. I'll take off my necklace and put it on the one like he asked with the flowers. And then I'll put the other flowers on Alan's grave. And but right before I leave, I'll say,
Fred's, help. Fred's. Yeah.
Whether it's the flowers or the intent, for a split second, frozen in time, Alan, you see her. You have one moment. What do you do?
I miss you. Be safe.
Gone. Idicus climbs back on the ship. Bickford?
Bickford follows a few minutes later. He had sort of snuck off and watched Idicus do all this.
Mm-hmm.
And
easy to see, it's right by the ship. So.
yeah. When he does, he stops. He spends quite a long time just staring at the graves. And when he comes back, he goes...
So old, the names are worn off.
Yeah. There's a whole town.
Yeah, he just sort of like looks. He's kind of like panning very slowly. And when he comes back, he's got a bunch of twigs that he's picked. And he lays them in a wreath and casts Minor Illusion in the middle of it. And it's kind of just sort of a portrait of the creature. Like, I left you something. And he heads back downstairs.
Beowulf.
I'm hoping you're going to let me do this because it does state at the DM's discretion.
Oh, I'm a pretty positive person. Give me a shot.
All right, here goes. Of course, he's gonna pseudo sleep and listen to the whole thing, the interaction between Idicus and Creature, and yeah, he's also gonna sneak down. But while Idicus and Bickford are gone, he's going to cast, if my mouse works, Speak with Animals.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's going to get a bunch of animals from Lurkwood and have them help him clean up the site, pick up, miscellaneous leaves, brush off the gravestones to make them look decent, little things that they can do, like squirrels with their tails, or small raccoons gather up the leaves and put them into the wood. Basically, kind of clean up the place and make it look semi-decent.
That's a full distance, bro.
That is absolutely, yeah. So, I want to paint the picture that creature sees. The graveyard is spotless. The animals are finishing their work, hauling the last of the leaves away. They've eaten the grass. They've dragged flowers out of the forest. But around yours and your ex's, because she's no longer here, graves.
Between the ex of myself and the ex
yes,
of...
yeah, well, you're the person you came here to see.
Yeah.
Those two graves have just a bouquet on each of them. There's a wreath in memorial. And you heard Iticus say, "Fred's help, Fred's." You're trapped in a battle you don't know if you can win. Does this count? Does this finish this? Is this closure? Or do you have to come back and get off this ship and get down there yourself?
In my mind, I can't. I can't let her see what I am now. This is as close as I'll ever get to what I want to get. And I want her to be happy with the last remnants of me. I want her to spend the afterlife with Alan and let Alan go.
And as everyone climbs back on the ship with the thought, you have to leave, and the ship starts to rise and move south again. You leave the Lurkwood behind you, your memories, your home, your new memories, curses old and new as well. Each one of you is carrying a weight that wasn't here before. Each one of you is fighting something that is not just what you're doing. Some of you are becoming. Some of you are doing the opposite of that. Pieces are coming off, pieces are being added. Things that appeared to have been broken weren't. And things that appeared to be whole weren't either. Love is stronger than all of it. And all of you, in your own way, found that out today. So as the dawn continues to rise on your left-hand side, ahead of you a series of pillars, smaller and getting larger, glow in the fresh red morning sun. Pillars of ice and snow. It's called shining white for a reason. And I think that is where we will stop tonight. We're a little early, but that got pretty intense. So
Preacher has one
yes,
last.
Yes,
kind of
I didn't do it. You're right, I didn't do it all the way around. One last thing. Creature.
This is just as he's seeing shining white, he feels the conglomeration of dragons, and he, for a brief moment, he goes, "You were right for keeping me here." Now, an intensity that's never been felt by an intensity that didn't exist before. The sheer rage and ferocity of what it is. Because Alan is gone.
Yep.
What is angry now is not the remnants of Alan, but the remnants of Zulfis for having had this happen to the one good host he ever had. As it devours the last bit, as it devours the dragon, forcing itself out of it.
You're trying.
No.
That's where we're gonna.
Or
leave
doing as much as it
you.
can.
Yeah, we're gonna
Just
leave
kind of
you
in a
that renewed
very clear
fight with the dragons.
Never hurt my people again.
Absolutely. Bigford, closing lines.
That's me.
Yeah, it is. Has been for a while now.
Yeah. Sorry, I heard a completely different word in my head.
Yeah.
Bigford looks shining white. It's actually a place he's never been to before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking about the morning skull in this room. Well, he's looking at it right now. And that's not the morning skull. He's never really committed this much. It's always been do the job, get paid, go drink.
Yes.
Now he's actually committed part of his blood. He's sworn an oath more than just please don't kill me. So he's a little bit more invested than he's ever really been, but he's not sure how that investment is going to really manifest.
Never happened before. He doesn't know what the hell to do with it. I get that. Absolutely. Beowulf. Rough day all around. There's hope regarding the tattoo. That's fading as you travel. What else? Where's Beowulf's head?
He's gonna pretty much go back to that little corner where he seems to like staying. He's not gonna change back into wolf.
Yeah.
He's gonna sit there as human. Probably take out like a little journal that he's been keeping. Right into it, how he feels right now after seeing that interaction between Creature and Iticus.
Yep.
And basically getting a feel for some of what Creature has been through, maybe. He's kind of feeling alone. He's never had a partner, per se. He's never ventured out. He's getting older in human years. He is human after all. But he's never had a partner like his parents had each other. Stuff like that. That's basically where he's coming from. He's wondering if that's something that he should seek out once this adventure is over. What he should really, what would be really one of the next things he needs to do for that. He's also wondering, should he continue being just a ranger, or should he branch out into something else? He's not 100% sure. But he's definitely writing all of this down. Something to think about as they continue journeying and just as he continues to explore himself.
For sure. I love it. And Iticus. You learned some letters, you learned some numbers, you helped a Fred. A Fred helped you.
Iticus is going to go into his room and take back out the map. With the paints, he's going to take essentially the white out and remove 2 cities. Rassalentar and Waterdeep.
And Waterdeep. Okay. I don't know if I make notes, but I'm making notes on this because this is going to require some think. Wow. I hate to say it, but the real Iticus is coming out. You whited out 2 cities. Holy cow. What does that do? I don't know. Please, at least I got a week to figure it out. Thank you for giving me a week. That's a challenge. What is their intent? What is the emotion behind that?
They want to forget. They want to forget again why they are the way they are now. And those are the 2 cities. The one where he died, essentially, and the one where he woke up.
Wow. That's deep, Atticus. Thank you. That's amazing. I've got Creature, I got Beowulf, I got Atticus, and Bickford we did. I just didn't write it down. So, that leaves me in a wonderfully interesting spot. I wasn't planning on having... I wanted the boat to be interested in more than one of you as a leader. I wasn't expecting to bond one of them to you and have the other one fall in love, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to enjoy that very much. This new thinky Atticus I really, really like. And this depressed Beowulf. Oh my god. It sounds so weird, but I love this character because he's just like, in spite of all the reasons not to go on, he's just doing it anyway. And it's just, I'm absolutely love it. Thank you all for bringing these characters to this game, not just tonight, but every time we play. So 2 thank yous left. All the wonderful people in chat, all the people that joined us with the raid. I hope some of you stayed. It looks like some of you did. Thank you so very, very much for joining us. Anybody who's not already part of the Discord or wants to PM me or get a hold of these other wonderful people, just pop over to that Discord. It is a great place to communicate with us, much better than the chat and Twitch and stuff. I see it there. I'll have a look later. But one more thank you to the people watching on YouTube in the future. If you watched all the way to here, hit the like button because you must have liked it. It was an hour and a half already, for goodness sakes. So, with all of those out of the way, 10 out of 10s all across the board. I'll absolutely give that. That was a heart render. This was this kind of got to be a comedy campaign. The last couple of weeks have been pretty serious, and I love it because a little bit of salt in the sugar makes it sweeter. So, with that, until next time, as always, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Night night.